Tonight, we've got 100 episodes of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We've got 2 seasons of Jessica Jones and a Wolverine podcast. Marvel TV Weekly starts now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, party people? Welcome to Marvel TV Weekly. I'm Christian Bladt. And who's here on the panel with me? Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Amy Cassandra Martinez.
And I'm Michael Shirley. You guys know me.
Right? And again, I'm Christian Bladt. I'm the idiot who sits in this chair. Thanks so much to everybody who watched last week's show and the many, many comments that were left, some of which were even nice. Anyway, there's so much to talk about. We're going to dive into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode 100. And I'm going to have to be upfront about season 2 of Jessica Jones. I am 2 episodes in, and I've got about 10 minutes in episode 3. I have not seen more than... I know, but I know that somebody on this panel is already done. And somebody else on this panel... Here's time for a plug, is on the AfterBuzz Jessica Jones Aftershow. And the first 3, so you did 1 episode last night that covers episodes 1, 2, and 3.
Correct.
And then is it Wednesday is the next one?
Yes, Wednesday at 3 p.m.
That's an odd
Pacific
time, but okay.
Time.
3 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah,
Interesting.
3:15. No, I'm just kidding.
3:10. 3:10.
3:09.
Because you guys are going to go early. So you great, congratulations. It's a fun panel to be on.
Yes,
and I saw
is.
you were dressed like Jessica with the scratches on your face again.
Yeah, I brought those back.
That's
Got
right.
in another fight.
I'm a little disappointed that I don't see it this week on our
sorry.
show. I just figured every day you should go through life.
It's hard keeping like one of those gimmicks up because my first after show here was Twin Peaks, and I had one of these like logs, and you know,
the log lady.
Yeah, the log lady, and I was like, all right, and they're like, bring it every week, and I literally like felt so stupid walking back and forth in my car with this like log pillow every week. So
Did they love you on the Twin Peaks after show?
They hated me.
I knew the answer.
They wanted
but I
me
asked
to go
anyway.
like straight to hell.
Wow, that is rough.
I found my market here.
That's right. Marvel's where it's at. Because for those watching on YouTube, you can see that Michael has a fairly amazing jacket on and a great original X-Men t-shirt underneath. This is a very Patsy Walker look, I think.
Yes.
And
Trish Talk. I wish we had had the
like
Trish Talk logo today.
Marvelista.
We could have definitely had the Trish Talk logo.
Nice.
Let's make Stephen Lemieux make or Marissa, one of them, make us a Trish Talk logo. We'll be the Trish Talk After Show. That's who we are. We'll corner the market on that. So now we always like to get an update from Amy. How far along are you in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Have you watched more since last week? Because now you don't have the excuse of like, oh, I'm watching all the Oscar movies.
What are you talking? Now I have a different reason. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I was at Expo West Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Anaheim. So I was driving back and forth. There were like 16-hour days.
So you could have watched the show while you were driving back and forth.
That is totally safe.
Yeah, it's a great idea. You're welcome. Do that next time.
Yeah. So basically season 3.
Okay.
But I'm hoping to make a lot more progress this week. It shouldn't be too
Just
bad.
wait till you
It's
get
not
to
going to matter to Christian because he won't want to talk about it anyway because we all know how much he hates Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
See, that's not true. But there was definitely some fan response in the chat last week where people, the fact that I didn't say every episode is amazing and I love every character, people were very angry. And I don't know that there's any
it was
show.
a S.H.I.E.L.D. episode, so you're going to get a lot of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans watching that particular after show.
Notice that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is in the title again this week because it brought a lot of eyeballs to last week's show.
For punishment.
No, I love the show, and I was reminded in episode 100, which I know Amy didn't see.
But I know a few things, obviously.
You do. I know. You were on set, so you got some secrets that you knew before us. Now, Michael, did you see Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode 100? What did you think? As we saw some old friends, we got to see Lash, we got to see Hive, but, no people that actually portray those characters, just some CGI.
Well, you and I were talking about it before I saw it, and you're like, it's like a really good episode.
It's a love letter to the fans who stuck with the show through thick and thicker and thickest, because there's never been any thin in the 100 episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's always been perfect.
Idiot. No. Well, after that big build-up from you, because I do know you are like tougher on that show, as like I'm tougher on like Jessica Jones and
The Gifted.
And The Gifted, yes. But I didn't quite live up to what you threw down for me. I wasn't quite picking that up. But I will say I really, really, really loved the last 30 seconds. And that's about it.
The last 30 seconds. So that was a big reveal, right?
Yes.
Because
I was like, why the hell is this guy here? And why can't they send him back?
That's actually what I was thinking of when I texted you, because the reveal is pretty cool.
It is good.
And we won't actually say it, because if you've seen the episode, you know exactly what we're talking about. And the fact that Deke is still around, I think he's a fun character, if for no reason other than...
I was over it.
No,
not anymore.
I love how much he loves Zima. All right.
I did get a cute kick out of that.
I think we maybe need to have some Zimas on the set.
I didn't even know they made that anymore.
I don't think they do. That's the funny.
Idea.
All right, see, Tony B. Tony. Yeah, Tony B. Tony is on board. Let's go find out if they. Let's all go to the supermarket
being
now.
sober is like more in than it's ever been. So I couldn't see a better time for them to bring it back.
This is the time to be drunk. Absolutely. This is the time to have alcohol that appeals to children, aka Zima.
Well, when you look at him too, it's just like splat together. I totally get it.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think it's a great casting choice.
And I'm very interested to see where that goes.
Yeah.
And, you know, our friend Carrie Lane, who's usually here on the panel, was unavailable to be here tonight. She's
working another franchise.
Well, she's doing a Tomb Raider event, like a live in-person event. So we're very happy for her. But she and I do Star Trek Weekly on Sundays as well. And we actually veered into, because we're talking about time travel, we veered into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. a little bit. And it reminded me of something that I meant to talk about last week. So when Deke first shows up in the past, he says, "Oh boy." And we were just excited, both Carrie, Frank Moran, who's on that panel with me as well. We were just like, well, it's definitely a nod to Quantum Leap, which for old people like me was a show.
I'm sorry, that's before.
Yeah,
me.
I know. I was just saying it's not for everybody, but so I'm just excited with that story. I just assumed he was dead. So I was legitimately surprised that Deke ended up in the past / present.
I also think it's really funny looking back on things he had said previously about like his family and stuff. Makes it even more interesting.
Yeah, and the fact that we never saw them.
That
was the moment that I'm like, oh, of course, because we never saw them.
But
like, oh, Dad's just out running some errands. Oh, by the way, I killed him. So, yeah, that explains why we didn't actually get to see his parents in the future.
It was really hard for me to like get a hold of like the whole pocket universe things that were like popping up like near them, and like how they had their wedding there and stuff, and like I didn't really understand. That was like too far-fetched for me.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Like, can't you just let this go?
I mean,
like,
they did the thing that you
monolith
get a lot
crap.
of times for big celebration episodes, or in many cases like a series finale, where it's like, oh, we're going to just revisit some of the things that we've seen before. And that was kind of a fun hook, where it's like, oh, the stuff you're most scared of. And I guess Deke was most scared of trees and the beautiful outdoors.
The opening title was like cute though.
Oh, that it had like all the different. It had like just.
I thought that might freak you out in a bad way though.
Well,
as soon as you saw,
as soon as the part is at Agents of Hydra, I'm like, no more framework. Just kidding. I love the framework, everybody. It's my favorite story ever. But anyway, I thought that was cool, and you know, we got to see some familiar faces. We got to see Deathlock. Who
I'm like,
you're not excited about that. Why? We saw 2 Deathlocks. That wasn't enough for you.
It was all about the last 30 seconds. I didn't give a crap about anything else.
You didn't give a crap about Fitz and Simmons' wedding.
I'm still pissed off about what happened to Yoyo. So
she's gonna be fine.
yeah,
I mean,
I assume.
Actually, doesn't look like she's gonna be fine if we think about the future we saw with Cassius.
Yeah, that makes me think.
That yeah.
No, it makes me just like think and be worried. But
she's gonna get Deathlock arms.
knows?
It's gonna be awesome. She's gonna be faster, and she's gonna have badass like Deathlock arms.
I could see them killing off major characters though really soon,
Oh,
because
like
we
Coulson?
don't really. But I don't really think because no one really knows what's going to happen with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I would not be surprised to see some major characters die in the next couple of seasons, like if not this season.
If there's more beyond this season, I think that, there might be a little bit of a, change.
I think we'll definitely get another season. I think they're going to push it as like the final season, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like a 10-episode event, or like they'll do something with it.
I think that would be perfect. That's exactly what you do. So now, Amy, when
you know what you do, because you think the whole thing's like twice too long.
I think it's a great show. 10 episodes. How about quality over quantity? That's all I'm looking for. Now, Amy, you were on set for episode 100, so you heard some rumblings. You knew Fitz and Simmons got married. Oh, was I supposed to say spoilers? Sorry if you didn't watch the show. We already mentioned it, but...
Yeah, I mean, I knew that, but I also knew because I went before season 5 started, I want to say. Yeah. So a lot of people didn't know that it was going to be in space, so I knew that at that time.
You were filled with spoilers.
I was filled with spoilers. And you kept them. I did.
That's good.
Have to do what you have to do.
War Hero 99 says Phil is done. I agree. I feel like this is going to be our last season with him, and I think we'll probably get one with Quake leading the team.
The interesting thing is the idea that, Coulson died in Avengers. We all know that. That's not a spoiler.
He can die again. It's okay.
Well, no, the point is that he's always been dead. It's a magical place. He's always been dead in the movies. And so if they kill him again, then it's like, oh, well, now we can put Quake in a movie for like a split-second cameo. Because you don't have the awkward, like, wait, isn't Coulson dead? Why is he over? You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So that's why I think that Coulson will die.
I will say, when you said Tahiti, that made me rethink of the episode. There was one other part I liked. I liked when he was, like, they were trying to convince him that he, Deathlock was trying to convince him that this has all been a dream. He's been dead ever since. That was playing with me. And I was like...
Did you think maybe Deathlock was right?
Being that it was the 100th episode, I hoped he was right. I really did. I would have liked to seen like a whole nother like kind of world, like totally different.
To have
characters.
The whole thing have been imagined, and then he wakes up in a different situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd
101.
still have like a Fitz or a Simmons or a May, but I think you would have like you wouldn't have a Mac, you wouldn't have a Yoyo.
What you're talking about sounds a little too frameworky for me, so I'm not on board.
I mean that I don't like that idea.
It's like how Roseanne ended.
Well,
literally your favorite show.
Well,
pretty
first
much.
Or second. I love Weeds.
Yeah. Okay.
A good example of how you can fit a lot of great content into 30
minutes.
But
here's the thing. Even with obviously a huge deviation from the topic of what we have at hand here. But even with Roseanne, the reboot that they're going to have, they're going to ignore the final season. Yeah. They're just going to pretend it didn't happen because I think that's the way a lot of people.
I think there will be
some
jokes in there to make it.
I know. I already know one because I've seen there was like a little trailer that. During the Oscars.
Right.
Anyway, I'm sorry, Amy. Instead of us talking about Roseanne, what were you going to say?
Well, actually, I was going to talk about another fandom. So.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, Buffy.
Yeah, the Vampire Slayer. I've heard of her.
Yes, of course. Yeah. So when they brought in Dawn, it was
that was everything. A really. I didn't like it at the time, but now.
It's like so
years
trippy.
Later, I do like it. Yeah. But when I was watching week to week, I was like, you can't do this. You can't do this. But I loved Michelle Trachtenberg, even before that. But it was really unsettling.
It really messes with your
mind. Don't
mind.
Know what you're watching.
Yeah. So.
Black Magic 99, referring to Coulson's sort of imaginary encounter with Mike, not Deathlock. So when he was just Mike Lock, said he would have shot him right away. He just would have seen him show up and he just would have shot him. That's what Black Magic would have done.
I don't know. It's a weird world, near the monolith.
Weird stuff happens around the monolith, obviously. That's one thing that we know from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But
I like what Zia Spilou said about being a speedster in the MCU.
Yeah, I did see that, but we will have to talk about that when we talk about Jessica Jones.
Yes.
There are no speedsters on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Except Yoyo. So you know what? That's an excellent point that he makes there. Because I didn't actually read the comment. I skimmed. I should just trust you to read them for me. That's what you said.
You can trust me.
Look, I want to read the ones that say...
by now.
It's so rare that somebody says that they like me in the chat that I know you won't tell me.
No one said anything about liking you in the chat.
Yeah, that's why I want to make sure I see it. I'm always looking for it. All I have are people posting after the fact what an idiot I am. So, I want to see the good stuff. So,
Can
Michael,
someone just say something so
on,
we can
guys.
get this over with? Go on.
Michael, you didn't feel anything during Fitz and Simmons' wedding?
No, I was like, well, why would they want to get married in a place that's about to like collapse on them? But like,
Because-
whatever.
It's beautiful. It's symbolic to their love.
Their life is
They're
always
back
about
on
to collapse.
Earth. They're not in space. Whatever. They could have found a nice place.
Venue?
Like, yeah.
They
or,
can't
like,
go anywhere. They're like America's Most Wanted.
Nobody knows what they look like except for Daisy.
I mean, I think that their pictures are out there, right?
I don't know.
I don't know. So you didn't
I don't
enjoy the
know.
wedding?
No, it was really rushed and stupid, and her dress was ugly, and she's like, it was like something she just found or whatever.
Well, Deke picked out the rings.
I don't know them.
Yeah, that was something. That was something. Let's just leave it at that. I don't know. And Sky Patterson says Marvel TV is very interesting. That's not a compliment of me, but nice try.
I don't know if they're talking about like actual Marvel television
Not
Or
our
our
if
show.
they're talking about
no, I think
our
they're talking
show.
about our show. Our show is
That's
very
what
interesting.
Are you okay?
That's what I want to believe.
That's what we're gonna take that as. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we have, of course, episode 101 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Starts Friday. So you should catch up, Amy. But
Okay.
I don't know. I think, look, whether this is the last season or it's just the end, there's only 10 episodes left this season. So there's only so much they can do, and I think there's a lot of story that needs to be covered.
Yeah.
With the way that this season started in space, I think the final season will start on
All right,
Earth.
we'll move on from S.H.I.E.L.D. in a second, but I have to ask, do you think, Michael, is Quake the destroyer of worlds? Is she going to destroy the world?
No, not anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I
actually think she. I actually,
credit
I actually think
than-
she never did.
I don't think
I think
did
she was
either. I
never
think
the
she's
destroyer of worlds.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah. All right. So let us know your thoughts about Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. My favorite show of all the Marvel shows on television, episodes 1 through 100. I have never for a moment disliked an episode. Every character is my favorite, especially Grant Ward. And Ada could not have been better on the show. So just share your thoughts on all of that. Obviously, I don't feel any differently than that. Now let's talk about Jessica Jones, Season 2. Michael, you finished. How long did it take you to finish?
Like 13 hours. Like I literally
So, like-
sat down and just watched the whole
So
thing. Like a
Thursday
movie.
at midnight, which was another thing that somebody in the chat chastised me
I
for.
tried it,
Yeah.
and I got like 15 minutes to it, and I like texted him like, "This is stupid."
Yeah, I got that text.
And then,
I didn't
like-
see it till the next morning, but
Yeah, and then on Saturday, I watched the whole thing.
see, Season 1, as I mentioned, I watched 10 episodes in that first Friday, that first day.
I watched it like it was my job.
I mean, it kind of is. Here you are. But now
it?
we're not educated enough to speak. with you.
Educated.
So the reason why I wanted to start with you, Michael, though, is you've been very honest about how you were not a fan of Jessica Jones Season 1.
No, I was
So,
not.
without
like,
getting-
at all. It was my least favorite Marvel show next to The Gifted.
Without getting into the specifics, plot points and things, overall, what did you like better about Season 2? Why was it better for you?
Because it is like 50% about Trish, Patsy, whoever you want to
I love
call
Patsy.
her by her nickname or her full name.
Who knew Patsy was
Trisha.
so mean? I love those guys who hired Patsy to be at their party where it clearly wasn't for their kid.
Oh, well, there will
That
be a
was so
little
weird.
surprise for you later.
Can't wait.
Where we see that couple again, and the guy's like, she should have stuck to her lifestyle format. So,
Well, as the official hosts of the Trish Talk After Show, we can really go into what Trish should be talking about on the show.
Yes.
That guy's gonna get his 2 cents again later.
That's good.
You'll see
I
that,
think
yeah.
that there's a lot of sense that need to be
But-
contributed. So the fact that it's a very Trish-heavy show, which
Yes.
again, I've watched 2 full episodes, and there's been a lot of Trish in the ones that I've watched, and a lot of
Yeah.
Trish talk, by the way.
I think like if you weren't like a huge Marvel fan, you might not understand why she would be like 50% of a show called Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
But if you look into the history, the Patsy comic was one of the first 2 comic books to ever be a Marvel comic and have the Marvel title on it. So Patsy is literally one of the very first Marvel characters ever, which was bought by Marvel
Right.
from a smaller company.
Right, because
And-
Captain America is a character that he shows up in Avengers #4 in the '60s, but he existed during World War II. But they were
She's,
called
looking for him.
They were called
somewhere.
Atlas or Timely at that point, so they were not officially Marvel Comics until
And
1961.
her original comic was nothing like a superhero comic. It was like an Archie comic, like a Betty and Veronica.
Did she have a Jughead?
She had Veronica.
Okay.
Her name was Hetty. It was just like a black-haired, or
Which is
the
such a-
raven-haired version of her.
Oh, nice.
A little more spunky. But they kind of like retconned all that, or you find out at the end of the whole Patsy series that it was actually all made up
Oh,
by her mother, who
her
is a comic book writer and artist, and all the comics books you'd been reading was actually Patsy's like imaginary life, and then you find out Patsy's a real person, and
Oh.
she goes by Trish, and yeah, so you find out there's like, it's very Roseanne, like we were talking. You find out it's like a story within a story, and I just think that's really cool that they're taking one of those characters and bringing them back into the fold.
so without getting into spoiler territory, do you think there's a chance that we could get a Patsy TV show? And how
Absolutely
excited
not.
would you? No,
No.
Patsy, no Hellcat show.
Not solo. No.
How about a solo standalone like Netflix, like 2-hour movie? Could we get a Hellcat movie?
No, we would get.
She'd just be
I
more
could
in
see
Jessica.
We could get her in the Defenders as like an official Defender,
Great.
like a
I would
lineup
like
of
that.
like
Yeah.
8 of them, kind of like we have Infinity War. We have like 20 now. but-
And I would like to see the Punisher as part of the Defenders.
yeah, I could see both her and
Okay.
Punisher.
And Moon Knight. No, I'm just kidding. As I mentioned him because I know how you feel.
Purple Girl.
Yes, the Purple Girl.
We've
should
already talked
definitely-
about what I
she-
think is going to happen with that.
Yeah, we need to see Purple Girl. So, Amy, as one of the co-hosts of the AfterBuzz Jessica Jones After Show, the official. It's actually not official. The unofficial.
Unofficial, yes.
It's the official,
Official,
unofficial.
unofficial.
Yeah, it's the official, unofficial.
There you go.
You obviously, when you started on this show, on Marvel TV Weekly, you talked about how Jessica Jones was your favorite show. So how excited were you for season 2? And as you sat and watched, you've only seen 3 episodes. What are your thoughts so far? Without really delving too much, you can
Right,
talk a little
right.
bit about stuff that happens, but let's not
Right.
be too spoiler heavy
Too
this
spoil-
week. Next week, forget it. All bets are off.
Yes. Well, going into season 2, I was pumped. Was ready for it. Yeah. And starting off, I did watch it at midnight, so it was a little rough because it
You
has
were
a different-
tired.
I was tired. Yes. But it has a different pacing than what a lot of people are used to, and so some people were game for that, and some were like, "This is."
It was
so
hard for me to
stupid,"
stop any episode.
which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I saw the first episode and then I went to sleep and then I watched the other ones later. I do love the amount of Trish/Patsy in there. I love that all of the episodes were directed by women.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. I had seen one of
Yes.
those posts behind the scenes that they're all directed by women, which
And it was released on International Women's Day.
that I would assume that's why it showed up a day early. That it should, because their shows always drop on Friday. Friday morning at 12:01, and this was Thursday
Yeah,
morning
for
at
sure.
12:01. Even though somebody in the chat last week said I was wrong about that, but that's all right. I don't read the chat. I just tease. I just kid.
We
So
never read it.
If
what?
you really want to hurt Christian, come at him in the chat.
Just mention it in the chat. That's all you have to do. So you're excited to see where it goes.
I am. Yeah, I also thought that it was gorgeous. Like, it was so beautiful, like nicely shot, and certain angles that we get that are different, and little things that we get at the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, I had
yeah.
never seen a better shot scene of someone fighting someone in a wheelchair. I had never seen anything like that. That was
There
so
you
well
go.
done.
There you go.
If there's anybody who could fight someone who's actually still in a wheelchair, it's Jessica
I
Jones.
do have a problem
Don't
with like
trust him.
the not animation, but the special effects on the Wizard.
So
I was a little like put off by that.
now that you mentioned the Wizard, that was a comment in the chat. They were talking about don't
Don't be a speedster.
in the
not
Marvel Cinematic Universe because that Quicksilver, the bad Quicksilver, let's be honest, the Aaron Johnson Quicksilver, he died.
I'd say he probably looks more like Quicksilver.
Yeah, but I don't know the
Evan
personality.
Peters has like the face of
Yeah.
Quicksilver, but the other guy's got the bod.
So we also have obviously we talked about Yoyo. that she is still with us, but, well, we have seen her die. We saw future Yoyo die. So we've seen her die, and we've seen something else happen to her. And the Wizard, who I didn't expect him to be an actual guy.
I did. I did straight up. I was like, this guy's telling the truth.
The second time he showed up, I did. But the first time,
the first time I thought, this is the only guy that's worth looking at.
But he has a pet mongoose. Who has a pet mongoose? No one has a pet mongoose. Yeah,
what are you talking
that's true.
about?
Amy's gonna bring her
Show
mongoose
and
in
tell.
next week.
Have you gotten to the part where she goes to his apartment?
Yeah, and the mongoose is there, and the police show up, and she
What was the
opens the door.
mongoose's name? It was so funny, like Aline or Elim or something.
Elian.
Or no,
Elion?
that's not it. I don't know, but she was like, "Give him hell."
Yeah.
You know, I thought I got a kick out of that. I'm getting like her humor better. I mean, I'm starting to understand her as a character, like Kristen Ritter as the actress. I couldn't see it for the first season. I think just because the scene was being set, and for me, I was just like, I would have just killed all of those people by now. Like, they were pissing me off if I were you.
She's actually a much more. She's a much more layered character. You know, she's actually, instead of just drinking all the time, she's starting to have to deal with her past. So that is a lot more interesting. I would agree with that.
It helped me also realize, I thought she was more kind of like haphazard, more just like jump in with guns blazing, but it made me also realize she actually is very calculated in the things she does. I guess it was just hard to see that with her being mind controlled, being a strong character she was. It was kind of hard for me to fully get into all that with her.
ZSB Lou in the chat says, I love the Wizard reference / Easter egg. First time I remember seeing him was on the 90s Fox Kids Spider-Man show with other members of the American Warriors, Destroyer, Miss Marvel, Thunder, Black Marvel, and Captain America. So,
I am not familiar with that.
I was just like, I don't remember that at all. But
Also, real quick, just to piggyback off of that, I was talking to ZSB Lou, and he also said how when the Wizard mentioned that there's lizard people out to get him, I was like, oh, that's funny. That's like one of the most well-known conspiracies, and I know about it too. But then he brought up that it could be like Skrulls.
It's the Skrulls. Yeah,
and
no,
I was like, oh.
Yeah, that was somebody different said it. The Wizard's not the one who said it. There was a girl who said the lizard people. And that's the one that I thought was true.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was just like, oh, so there's going to be lizard people at some point. Defender Season 2? Maybe. I don't know. Just putting it out there. Yeah, so I think that... Look, there's a lot more Jessica Jones that I am looking forward to watching, but I've enjoyed what I've seen so far.
And bonus points to anyone who picks up the Stan Lee cameo because it is so quick.
Really?
There's not even words.
It's not in the first 3 episodes.
No.
Is it? Okay.
All right. Well, don't tell us what episode it is because that's going to help us. That's going to, make it easier
It's
to
7.
look for him. What?
No, I'm just kidding. I don't
She
know.
has no idea.
What if she's
I don't
right
know.
though?
She might be.
Yeah, you're like I don't know.
I felt that number from you.
Yeah.
Serenity Q26, which is like always such an annoying commenter in our chats every week.
What?
She says, yeah, because you don't read comics, LOL. The Wizard was thought to be Scarlet Witch's and Quicksilver's father. Read Avengers comics. I do read comics, but I'm not a Marvel custodian. I've seen that guy. He looks like shit because he's had to read probably about 500,000 comics. So I am
The guy
sorry.
who's the custodian.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, I can't cover all the comics, but alas,
And by
I'm
the way,
here.
when you said that about Serenity, Black Magic 99 says LMAO, shots fired.
I'm sorry.
Anyway.
I'm just over it.
911.
Yeah,
I
so
know,
yeah.
I'm over your nasty comments, Serenity Q26.
See what
I'm
happens?
talking to you.
See what happens when somebody touches on Michael? Serenity Q has said very nasty things about me too. But you know what? Here's the thing. I love having people
Haters
like that.
gonna
no,
hate.
I love having people like that in the chat. I like people that disagree with what we talk about.
Because that
You
means
know?
you guys are watching.
And
For sure.
And
Serenity.
the passion.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a passion. It's the passion.
The point isn't that the Skrulls are actually lizard people. It's that they look like they could be lizard people.
And that's, we also talked about that last night on the after show.
Right. Oh, so you did actually talk.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, we talked about that.
So,
that's
you know,
not
I'm
the
scared to
crazy
see what the
thought.
Skrulls look like. I hope they're good looking. I hope they're not like some reinvented,
I just
weird
don't
looking.
think
like,
we'll be able to get the Super Skrull, who is the best Skrull, because he has the power of all 4 members of the Fantastic Four.
Nope. No.
I want that. I want that that Skrull. But aren't the Skrulls in Captain Marvel, right? Isn't that the
That's
I think that they're
big
going to look good
baddie.
in that story, and then
I
we'll
hope
see where it
so.
goes. Anyway, we only have a few minutes left, so we are going to move on from those shows. But what are your thoughts on Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episodes 1 through 100? Give us your 100 favorite moments. I'm just kidding. But I thought that there were some nice remembrances, and a lot of members of the cast posted on social media some comments.
yeah.
Chloe Bennett
Yes, she's my favorite.
and Clark Gregg both had some memories and little things, little behind-the-scenes vignettes that they shared. So look for that stuff.
I love Clark
I'm
Gregg
a
as
huge fan of Clark
Coulson,
Gregg, yeah.
but I'm like ready for him to go. I think we've kind of like, he can do all the little jokes he can do. It's just kind of like,
Well, if they ever do a reboot of the New Adventures of Old Christine, then he can be on that. All right, so we can find. That's the only other thing I've ever seen him on.
oh, I didn't know.
He was on that. That's. I didn't pull that literally out of nowhere. Anyway, so let us know what you think about these shows, and we'll obviously talk more about them next week because new episode of S.H.I.E.L.D. and for both Amy and myself, we have 10 or more episodes.
I gotta
watch.
wait for Legion for something else to watch.
That's
but
true.
that's not gonna be very
well,
long.
You've got Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so you have that. But
One
Legion
more
is very
episode.
soon. Something that we keep not getting to is the Cloak and Dagger series. We have the premiere date for June, and it's I guess they had some kind of press screening or some event where people were able to see it because it is getting really good reviews. And I guess
it was at South by Southwest.
it was at South by Southwest.
Oh my
Were you
God.
there, Tony? Did you get to go to South by Southwest?
No, I have seen this promo spot that you might play, and
Okay.
it's actually really fantastic. I enjoyed it a lot, and I
Yeah.
didn't think I would.
Well,
So it's
here's
very
the thing, yeah, and
surprising.
we'll just play it under, and we can't have any volume. I think that's the way these work, but you'll be able to see it for those watching on YouTube. And it's kind of a cool side-by-side, and these are interesting characters that I think are very heavily rooted in the early 80s, and I think they're doing a good job updating them. You know, they're sort of victims of the drug trade and, you know, some sort of gang wars and things that I believe they first showed up in 1982. Tandy Bowen is Dagger, and Tyrone, I want to say his last name is Johnson. I didn't do the research, but you know what? I'm not pretending that I know. I'm guessing. So that's a little different. I didn't say it with authority. So Serenity,
Come
don't
out
tell
of
me I'm wrong.
Serenity.
Yeah, thank you. But I think that it's interesting that this show is going to be on Freeform, and that's why I'm fairly apprehensive about it.
Scares me.
But
Shot right here.
they're playing up sort of the romantic ideals, and it looks like that movie Save the Last Dance.
Hey.
No, it's just the commercial looks like it's that movie with powers. All right.
Here's the thing. I appreciate that they're going on Freeform because it's bringing a whole nother audience that maybe it's just like, what? Marvel, I don't care. So
They're going
I
for a
like that.
Pretty Little Liars kind of audience with this.
Yeah, so it's like more Marvel people to bring on board.
Yeah, but do they tell it in a way? Because Runaways was definitely going for a younger audience, but I felt like it had the sensibility where I was still able to enjoy it. Are they going to care that I want to watch this? Are they going to be like, well, we don't need him. You know, we just need people literally half his age and younger. Actually, definitely younger than half my age, now that I think about how old I am.
It's gonna be weird for me because, I mean, I haven't obviously seen Cloak and Dagger yet, but it seems like the way they portrayed it, it's gonna have a real similar feel to the Runaways, and so you kind of want to see like a crossover, and you know that's never gonna happen.
It's not going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I find that it's a little strange that they're going for two of those teen things right at the same time. Not that there shouldn't be teen shows, but being that these are teens that are, both of these stories are about heroes that kind of skulk around and they're not fully like heroes. I mean, Cloak and Dagger are fully heroes, but they're very
They're
much,
a little bit more vigilante, though. I
yeah,
mean,
they're like in the shadows. Like a lot of people probably don't even know they exist.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, everyone in New York knows Daredevil exists. Everyone knows Spider-Man exists.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I just think it's kind of weird. They're like underground teen kind of thing they're doing right now. But I'm sure they have a plan. They have like the next 20 years of all the Marvel movies planned out, right?
Well, Amy, you are much closer to the demographic that they're trying to reach with
What are
this
you
show.
trying to say?
She's much younger than me.
I'm
and she's a girl.
19.
Yeah, but she's younger than me.
I'm not 19.
I know you're not 19, but I
I was a
decided
little shocked. I was like, really?
You're like, oh,
looks
time's been
great.
cruel.
He looks great for 19.
Time's been cruel to you, Shirley.
But so that's the question, though: is are you excited? You're like, yes, I want to see this, or you're like, okay, well, maybe I'll check it out. Or how would you gauge your excitement for this?
Yes, I'm excited. I'm fine with the fact that it's on Freeform. it's a little bit harder to watch because it's on Freeform, because I'm such a like Netflix watcher that it's just like great. So I have to watch live TV or watch it like. I don't watch Freeform ever, really.
Yeah, well, I think your generation steals everything, so it's fine.
Thank
You'll
you.
figure out a way to watch it. You know.
We're resourceful.
Yeah, I know.
That's what you're trying to say.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
There you go.
Well, we'll have plenty of time to talk about it when that show rolls around. Two more things I want to talk about. Something that I read today, I literally had no idea was happening. There is a Wolverine podcast that has started, and it's sort of like an old radio play where it's, you know, with the sound effects and the narration and all that, you know, and it's like a show. You can't see it. It's called Wolverine: The Long Night, and it's on Stitcher, and it is part of Stitcher Premium. So if you want to check it out,
Dun, dun, dun.
you have to pay for it, but you can get a free month. Go to WolverinePodcast.com. They're not a sponsor, but I wanted people to know how to find it. WolverinePodcast.com and type in the code Marvel. I believe you get a free month. I don't think it's a free week. I think it's a free month. I might be wrong about that.
Just watch
yeah,
it.
and
Listen.
I only listened to a little teaser of it because I didn't take the time to type in the... So I haven't heard Wolverine in it. I don't think he's actually in the first episode, but I like the idea. Look, if you're checking out this show, you're obviously a fan of podcasts, and I think this is a great idea. You know, people get caught up in stories from podcasts like that obviously S.H.I.E.L.D. being the most famous one. And I think that if you start to get more things like this, great. Look, we're not going to get a Wolverine TV show, but if they want to give us a 10-part Wolverine podcast, I'm all on board. I hope it's good, you know, but the idea, I don't know, I'm pretty excited. What do you guys think?
Yes. That sounds cool because I feel like you can do a lot more with it. You, don't
You
have
guys
to worry
feel
about...
like you would check it out for the free month and see if you could listen to a few episodes if you like it, or Michael, are you just not on board?
Personally, no, I wouldn't listen to it. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's really kind of cool, like a 1930s kind of like late night.
Yeah, like
they call
The
it, the
Shadow
talkie,
or
like a talkie or whatever.
Well,
what they call
like
it?
on the
the
radio.
talkie would be
Door.
the talkie would be movies with
Okay,
sound.
all right.
But it's like the old radio dramas, like there were.
I think that's the
Shadows
perfect
being
kind
the
of a
most famous one.
character to do that way.
Yeah. And by the way, if you like podcasts, want to have fun, learn, and grow in all areas of your life, for those who do, have we got a podcast for you. Conversations with Maria Menounos podcast edition is hosted by our AfterBuzz TV founder, Maria Menounos, and drops every Friday on iTunes. Conversations with Maria Menounos features celebrity and influencer interviews, along with secrets and tips on how to be better in all aspects of life, from health and wellness to career and relationships, finances, and more. Let our Maria be the big sister you never had. Just go to iTunes and subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos for free. Be sure to rate and comment, and when you do, let Maria know that it was us. It was Marvel TV Weekly who got you there. Conversations with Maria Menounos, podcast edition. Check it out. Our final point that we will make here this week is something that is directed towards Michael. You did not like Gemma's wedding dress on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode 100.
I know where you're going with
You know exactly
this.
where you're going because
Yeah.
you texted me this picture. What do you think of Kitty Pryde's wedding dress, which you should be able to see right now for those watching on YouTube? It is from X-Men Gold number 30 when she, Kitty Pryde, Shadowcat, marries Pyotr Rasputin, a.k.a. Colossus. In that issue, he looks very dashing in the
Why
suit. By
doesn't
the way,
he ever power down? Like what?
well, he powers down all the time.
He's at
although
his wedding. Like come
there
on.
was a
Isn't there a point when he can't anymore?
there's a point in actually in Excalibur when he has to stay in the metal form. I think it's just artistic license, Anthony, for the cover. I'm sure he's going to get married as a human. But anyway, what do you think of her dress there?
I'm glad that you asked me, being that shameless plug. I host the Project Runway After Show every Thursday from 8 to 9 on AfterBuzz TV. I think that's a really sweet and pretty chic fishtail gown, but it's all about the groom in this photo.
I mean, he looks great.
I know. What a great color suit to match his metal tone.
I wish I had gotten married in that color suit. But,
well, you can always renew your vows.
That's true.
We can paint you up like a Tin Man and put your wife.
If my wife wants to do a Kitty Pryde and Colossus themed vow renewal, I'm completely on board.
And we could do like a
yes, Anthony, you'll be there.
I can see it. We could do like skin body painting, so we could make her blend in a little bit with the background, so it looks like she's kind of like, you know what I'm talking
so she's
about?
phasing like
yeah,
she's
yeah.
a little
We'll take
transparent.
pictures. Yeah.
Well, and you know what we'll get out of you next week, because I don't have the graphic pulled and we'll look at it. I want you to evaluate Mary Jane Watson's wedding dress, which was designed by Vera Wang for Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 21. But we don't have it this week, so that's a little tease for next week. Amy, what did you think of Kitty Pryde's dress? I know it's gone now.
Yeah, I thought it was very nice. I actually used to work at David's Bridal.
Oh,
Hello.
then you know.
So I know, but I think she could have done way more.
All right. Well, you know what? She couldn't have done better.
She's
than
a little
Colossus.
understated.
Yeah.
She's not a show off,
just who she
really.
is.
She blends in.
She's from the suburbs of Illinois. She's just cool. Anyway, we are out of time. Thanks so much to everybody in the chat, and I do mean everybody in the chat, even you, Serenity Q. Thanks to everybody.
Just be nice.
Yeah, just be nicer, just especially to Michael. Anyway, we're all going to be back next week. We're going to talk more S.H.I.E.L.D. We're going to talk more Jessica Jones, and there'll be plenty of other stuff to talk about. Maybe I'll have time to check out the Wolverine Podcast. But until then, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ChristianDMZ. Amy, where do people find you?
On all social media at Amy Cassandra MTZ.
And Michael.
And you can find me at Michael X Shirley on Instagram and Twitter.
All right, we will see everybody next week. Until then, Excelsior!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.